for me, please?
Good to go.
Oh, you already did that?
Yeah, I'm not sure why we can't hear it, but it's done.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right. So, yo, today we do have our title partner in the building. We have Miss Bryn Flatter or Brenda Flatter. She's gonna be going over title, of course, and I want y'all to pay attention because a lot of the questions that y'all ask, she's the one that can answer. Okay? She is the one, she's the go-to, she's my go-to whenever I have a title issue. I'm hitting her up. Hey, Bryn, blah blah blah. I want to build a house and this and can we do this? Yes, we can do this. Can I do that? No, you can't do that. So she is the go-to. All right. So pay very close attention. Write down your questions because she said, like she said, she will do a Q&A at the end. I'll ask some questions on your behalf, like some of the most commonly asked questions and everything. And yeah, we'll go from there. And she put the info at the bottom of the chat, and I'll put it underneath this video so you know how to reach out to Wolf Title. All right. Um, Bryn, it's all yours.
Oh, well, thank you very much for having me again. I always enjoy helping you and your crew, your den out. I like to call you the den, helping everybody out here. So, thank you everybody for allowing me to participate on your call. I am Brendan Flatter. I'm the Executive Director of National Sales at Title and Abstract Agency and U.S. Tax Deed Solutions. We are partnering up with Wolf Title to where we'll be able to offer you guys nationwide title and settlement services. And then for the group that's in here that is investing in tax deeds, U.S. Tax Deed Solutions will be a vendor for Wolf Title that will allow us to bypass the quiet title requirement and be able to insure your tax deeds without that. We're currently doing that in 13 states. We're getting ready to release a few more states that I'm very excited about. So here in the next few bits, you'll see us growing into a few more states. The tax certification product is needed in certain states where when you acquire a tax deed per the state statute, you have clear title, but you do not have marketable title. That's why that extra step of the quiet title action is required, or maybe the signing of a deed from the prior owner or holding the deed for a certain period of time until it statutorily seasons. Our product is less expensive than the quiet title action and we're faster. It's an alternative product that allows you to offer a savings to your client or to your buyer or to the buyer because you don't have to use the expense of the quiet title action. The tax certification just needs to stay in effect until either somebody decides to do the quiet title action or the deed statutorily seasons. As far as Wolf Title, they are going to be a title company that will be able to assist you with your due diligence, with title reports, municipal lien searches, and to assist you with your closings, whether you're buying traditional real estate, if you have back-to-back closings, if you have assignments of contracts, and then again, if you're working with, any type of default transaction, where it be a tax deed, sheriff's deed, we can we can facilitate any transaction throughout the U.S. There's a lot of people that I'm sure maybe have on the call that have maybe bought one. Maybe you're waiting to buy one. Maybe you have several under your belt. Maybe you have some questions of some questions of some tax issue or title issues that you've come across, or you have questions. While you're thinking about your questions, I'm going to welcome you guys to put some in the chat or raise your hand. I'd be happy to call on people in case you have a specific scenario that it's probably easier to describe it to me than to type it. In the meantime, I'll let you know that title insurance is it's a way that we give everybody a peace of mind. We allow you to protect your property rights. Title insurance is issued to the owner of record. It's a one-time payment as it's valid as long as that entity stays the owner of record, whether you're buying it in a personal name or a trust or an LLC. That policy stays into effect. It is something that a lot of people are not really quite sure of their value until it comes into play where you would need some, because several $100 million a year are paid out in title claims nationwide. So it does happen. And now with the uptick of vacant land and vacant land fraud, wire fraud, and then, just and now we've got AI coming that's going to probably give us another level of fraud that we have to deal with. It allows us to make sure that all the parties involved are certified. We do a certified ID. We make sure everybody is who they say they are, who's able to sign the documents on behalf of who they're able to sell the document or the property to. And then we make sure everything is handled and recorded, at the county to give you guys that protection and that peace of mind, knowing that whatever you're buying, that is yours and that nobody can come back up to vacate the sale or come back with a potential title issue or a title claim on a traditional sale. And therefore, then if that would ever happen, you have title insurance, and then you say, hey, call Bren, and that she'll be able to take care of any concern or claim that you may have. That's a little brief overview of U.S. Tax Deed Solutions, a little brief overview of Wolf Title. I highlighted a little bit about what title insurance is. And I thought I saw a couple hands, so I'm going to ask, I'll put my glasses on, and then there we go. Yeah, and then I'll open it up to some questions. So give me a second. Do I
Um,
unmute you, or can
Yeah,
you? Oh,
got
there
it.
you go. You can unmute yourself. Oh, okay, got it. Okay, thanks.
Hey, Brent, yes, Brent, I bought my lot exactly on December 13, 2023, and I decided not to sell to build on it because I found a great lender, and I'm actually in the process. Do I still need to do the title clearing and everything, or it's been enough time where I could just build on it?
No, so if your tax deed, I'm sorry, what state?
Sebring, Florida.
In Florida. Okay. So actually, right now, you have a tax deed under 4 years old where the prior owner can come back and challenge the tax sale. You've already started construction on the property?
No, no.
Perfect. Good, because this is a perfect time to where in this scenario, I would recommend that you do a certification straight to policy where we do the review, certify the property to you or your entity, the owner of record, and issue you a title policy for either what you paid for it or what the assessed value is. Then you and your lender, if you're using a lender, you would still continue to use Wolf Title, move through the build process, and then when you go and sell it to your end buyer, then we will amend the certification, giving you credit for anything that you've already paid and to reflect the new sales price and allow the certification to continue.
Okay, and how much would it be how much is that process for now to start?
Sure. Do you remember how much you paid for the property at the sale, or what the
Well,
tax certificate or the assessed value?
Well, I paid $15,618. I have the receipt here. That's why I'm giving you exact.
Sure. Okay. So if we did it at just at that value, your tax certification fee is going to be $1,000, because vacant land 0 to 10. Wait, I'm sorry. What was your price again?
Fifteen thousand six
15.
hundred
Okay.
eighteen.
Let me start over. For vacant land, $0 to $10,000, the certification fee is $1,000. At your price point, you're going to go to up to the $25,000 tier, to where you'll be at $1,450. That's $1,450. $500 is required up front to do the review, and then the remaining $950 would be paid when we go to the title policy part, where you'll have a search and exam of $150, the $950 tax certification, municipal lien search of $150, and the title policy is probably going to be a little over $100. I know Florida has a minimum of 100, but you're probably going to creep up just a little bit. So that's the fees that you would be looking at for a certification straight to policy that would remove your risk from anybody to come back to vacate the sale while you do your build.
Let me actually, if I want to, because I want to use my land as collateral, as using it as a for the financing thing. Should I actually, the retail obviously costs more, 30 to 40,000. Should I certify it at that price or at the?
Yeah, I appreciate your question. We can only certify it at the beginning level, at the beginning stage, for what you paid for it at the sale or the assessed value, whatever that higher number is. That's as much as we can go with.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I saw some things go in the chat. I have a parcel in Georgetown that has wetlands. I have a potential buyer and he wants to build a cabin on it for Airbnb. What would be the process? Tell him to get a wetland delineation certificate to see if it's buildable. When you say Georgetown, can you please tell me what state?
Hi, sorry. Yeah, Florida.
Yeah, sorry. I understand you guys probably know the little local areas a little bit better than I do. I'm more of a state. I will ask by state. So if you have a parcel in Georgetown that has wetlands, that would be something that you would probably want to handle at the county level, or something that you and your potential buyer would want to take a look at to determine what that would be. I would probably start with the county.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I want to, so I want to go, let's go a little bit like a podcast style for a sec, Brandon, if you will. So
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
walk through the step by step. So
Okay.
we win a property, and most of us are buying in Florida right now. We win a property. We come to you for, we come to Wolf Title for title certification or tax deed certification, right?
Mm-hmm.
We we do the certification. How long is it valid for?
Once the review has been completed, the review period is good for 6 months. After 6 months, it's $100 update. And then after 12 months, it would be a brand new review. Once a policy is issued and the certification is completed, the property is always certified. It's done. So as you increase the value, we can amend the certification to reflect that new value. You don't have to worry about it being recertified. For example, if you buy something at the $10,000 and it's $1,000, then you build a $190,000 house. So now you're at 200,000. The tax certification at 200,000 is 2,200. We're going to give you a credit of the $1,000 that has already been paid. So to amend that certification, it would just be an additional $1,200 and then the title policy in order to keep the tax certification intact until the deed statutorily seasons, which in Florida is 4 years.
Awesome. So we do the certification, and will that certification allow us to do everything that a quiet title would have allowed us to do? So can we
Absolutely. Yes.
build on a house, sell
hmm
the house?
hmm
We can do pretty much it's the same, almost the same thing.
It's the same. It is. It's the same end result. It just takes you a different way to get there. And then that's as long as your clients come back to Wolf Title to continue, as they amend that certification. But the quiet title action is a lawsuit that is filed through the court, that's judicial, that's recorded, that any title company will be able to find out. Our product is an alternative product, the same end result. You get the same title insurance, the same title commitment, the same standard requirements. We're just less expensive and we're faster because we're not recorded. U.S. Tax Deed Solutions is ensuring that we're the ones that absorbing that risk, and we're ensuring that title.
Awesome, awesome. And before I get to Karina's question, so I just want to continue on with the scenario. So we get the tax deed certification. Now it's possible that some of these properties won't qualify
Mhm.
and may have to actually still get quiet title, correct?
Is correct. That is correct. We run about an 85% success rate nationally on getting these certified. So in Florida, a lot of you know, we see, and I will quote one of my favorite movies, we see dead people. And in Florida, there might be times based on, if you have a deceased owner, depending on how many heirs they have and what the county chose to do, then we might have additional remedies where we might offer supplemental noticing at no additional charge. We may ask that we give you the option of saying, hey, look, we want to do an air search. The air search has a minimum of $500 and it can go up to $2,000 for an air search before we come back to you and say, hey, look, this is kind of where we're at. What do you want us to do? Because we know we're hovering over the same price as the quiet title. We're just going to be a lot faster. And again, if you decide you don't want to do the air search, then we'll just recommend the quiet title action and you can go forward in that path. If you do choose to do the air search, where many of them have come back very successful, where it allows us to be able to meet our requirement, and then we can proceed with the certification.
Awesome, awesome. Are there any states that we don't do tax deed certification in?
I don't have my list in front of me. Off the top of my head, you will not have to do tax certification in Ohio because Ohio is a judicial foreclosure process that can go straight to title insurance. And the same with Kentucky. Kentucky, I know, is a state that goes straight to title insurance. I know there's a there's a few others, but, and I can, produce that list later if maybe I can give that out to you guys at another time. I don't have it memorized.
Yeah, we'll
Sorry.
throw that on the website, but
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
important. My last question, I think, and I'm going off based off the top questions that I've received, is
Oh, yeah.
when we win a property, so I'm going to backtrack a little bit. We win the property, should we only come to you when we know we're about ready to aggressively like try to sell this property, right? And what I mean by that is as far as the payment goes, when we send it to you, how much is supposed to be paid? And then how long do we have to make to make the final payment? But I'm really asking, can we put the final payment off to the end buyer?
Okay, so I'm following along. First of all, I have clients that do it both ways. Some clients, the minute they get the deed, they come and they want us to do the certification, the review, to have it ready. So that way, if they have to do some of these extra steps, it gives them that time to know as they're marketing it. Some of my clients bring me the deal with the contract. It's kind of what you guys want to do in your temperature. I would say if you had us do a tax certification as a TBD, when you went to the contract stage, I would say give us 30 days to close. If you bring me the contract that has not been certified yet, then I would say give me 45 days to close. And that's on average. That's going to be based on, how fast we get it from the county. There's always, the snafus that can happen, but on it just as a general guideline, that's what I would say. As far as the fees go, title fees are title fees, and the certification is a separate fee. We, as a title company, we follow the terms of the contract. As you and your clients are negotiating your deals, you decide who's paying what, and you just put it in the contract, and then we follow suit. I just know that there is of the certification in order to begin, there is a $500 non-refundable fee to do the attorney review to determine if it qualifies. And so that's something that you might want to budget for.
So they pay the $500 fee, they get started, and you said
Mhm.
they have how long to close technically and to be
If
able to,
under 6 months, if you can close the file under 6 months, the review's done, we'll just proceed. If it's over 6 months, it's $100 update, and then we'll proceed with the closing. And
as
after
far as
12 months, we're starting all over.
the sorry, the 500 initial fee, let's say I'm trying to sell it, but I don't get a buyer for 3 months. They would have to pay the rest of the money while they wait, right?
We'll wait till you're under contract because
Oh,
we don't know we don't know what you're selling it for. So
wow.
there, for example, let's say you send me a deal. You're hoping you're going to get 40 for it. Let's say you're hoping you're going to get 40,000. So the tax certification fee at 40,000 is 1950. You've given me the $500, so now the remaining is going to be 1450, but you only sell it for 25. Well, that's 1450, so you only owe me 950. That's kind of why we do it this way, the 500 up front, because you never know where you're going to be when you're negotiating. And if you don't have it, we can get you the pricing tiers so you know where the price breaks, where it shifts. Because why ask for 500 more dollars if I'm taking it in the certification fee? You know what I mean? So but again, the certification is not a title fee. So if you're wanting to pass that fee off to your buyer, you're going to want to make sure that you note that in the contract.
Perfect. And then my last, okay, I think this is my last question for real because this came up. So can we go straight? We can go straight to polish. Like if we're gonna hold the property, there's no extra $100 every 6 months, right? We can go straight to policy.
Yeah, on a certification straight to policy, that once we've done the review, then we're going to send you a final invoice for the remaining certification, the municipal lien search, the title search, and the policy. Because then we order the lien search. It's gonna, if it comes back clean or whatever, and because you've paid it, and then if it comes back clean, then we just move forward with issuing the policy. If the municipal lien search has some things on it, we'll contact you, let you know what we're looking at, but we'll just proceed to issuing you the title policy. So you can
Awesome.
do your rehab and whatever it is you're going to do, or a cash out refi, whatever it is.
Wolf title is fire. All right, I love Billy.
Hmm. Yeah, I just had some questions about the redeemable the redeemable deed states. One, if that redemption period's up, are they able to come back, or do you have clear title? Um, as far as like owning the property, or do you have to go through this process to get the tax deed certificate and all that before you can
Sure.
sell it?
Sure. Yeah. And so the redeemable deed states that you're talking about, all of them do require the quiet title action to be completed. And as the statute reads, once you have purchased that tax deed and the once you purchase the tax deed, the redemption period, anybody that has an interest in the property can come back to challenge that deed. Once that redeemable deed is expired and now you're holding the deed, then depending on the state, then the prior owner has a period of time where they can come back and challenge the sale as to why you would have to do the tax certification or the quiet title action.
Okay. And then another thing, I was gonna, I was about to get a redeemable deed, but it said for that particular one there was no redemption, like in the auction. So I was thinking of getting it and just doing like a quiet title to the neighbor or something. So in that case, not a quiet title, I'm sorry, a quit claim deed to the neighbor. So if that's the case, is that something that title handles, or do we just handle that outside of, like, because I know it's long distance, you got to get like a mobile notary and someone to kind of be the mediator. So how would that process work?
Yeah, great question. One of the things that now I've got everybody on here, this is my public service announcement. You guys in the quit claim deeds, no, 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 no. You guys got to be careful. Too many quit claim deeds in the chain of title can make a property uninsurable. So you guys really want to make sure that you spend some time, read the language of deeds, get with your attorney or Google, because there's lots of different types of deeds that are available that might meet your needs a little bit better, because underwriters are going to want to see some type of warranty. And again, I'm not saying it has to be a general warranty deed, but you might also look at the language of a special warranty deed, a limited warranty deed. There's other types of deeds that I would recommend that everybody reads their language to see what they feel comfortable with conveying. So to your example, with the property that you have, if it is a tax deed and you're not wanting to do any type of certification, then a title company isn't going to be able to assist you. You're probably going to have to do something outside of title, whether you have an attorney prepare the deed, have them sign it, you guys get it recorded. You'll probably want to do that outside. So the title company is where you're going to want to make sure that you're going to convey clear and marketable title with a title policy. I don't know really what state you're talking about specifically, if you have one, but it
It
might be
was
some.
Tennessee. So
Oh, okay. So in Tennessee, yeah, we would, in that respect, that would be something that we would highly recommend that you run through Wolf Title.
okay.
So Billy, it's almost like saying letting a title company doing that deal is almost like saying, "Hey Billy, let me use your car to go drop off a few kilos." Right? It's like
Yeah.
we're not gonna let you use our car because then we can still get in trouble when something happens, right? So we wouldn't want our name on that transaction.
All right.
Somebody,
I thought it was more for like the title company saw me tell y'all that I ain't giving y'all, that I ain't promising nothing. I'm just, so I guess an attorney would be the best way to try to do that. So I might as well just clear the title with the certificate. So
And an attorney.
Probably, it's what I've seen when people are using the tax certification with the title company because buyers are getting savvy. Buyers are getting smarter. They want to make sure that you are who you say you are, that you are making sure it's, has clear and marketable title, and they want title insurance. So that's where it's really nice to see people that are starting to be educated to see us as the necessity that we are and not the commodity people think we are. Therefore, while you're doing this, I think it shows you to be a reputable seller because you have a title company. You're saying, hey, look, I'm transparent. I'm doing this above board. Everything's done here by the book. I'm letting you know, yes, I'm saying who I am. And yes, I own the property. Is same as what the buyer's doing. Yes, we are the buyer. And yes, we say what we're doing. And I've seen that people have been able to receive a higher price point by offering the title insurance because they're offering marketable title than what they're spending or than a lower value just to get rid of the property.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in here real quick. Yes, for clarification, the tax certification review, the initial review, once it's been done, is good for 6 months. If we've not closed the file or issued a title policy, there will be $100 update fee. And then after 12 months, if we've not issued a title policy, then we'd start the process all over again. And we all know if you have a property over 12 months old in this market right now, you're overpriced, right? We all know that, right? Yeah. And I've only seen maybe a couple handfuls in my time of having this where they go that long. Because again, we all know if you've got to market your property correctly.
And yes, Karina, if you don't do it, 4 years is Florida. 4 years
Yes.
from Florida. Even though statute of limitations is 20. All right, it's 20. So remember,
Mhm.
I said anybody can go sue anybody for some
Yep.
reason.
Mhm.
Question is, will the attorney take the case? Will they even take the case? Will they win? Right? Anybody can sue anybody for crying out loud.
I always
So
tell everybody, anybody can always try. And when you look at title insurance and how inexpensive it is, anybody, if people on here have never called an attorney, a good attorney is a minimum of $300 an hour, minimum, a good one. And if you look at my tax certification fee and the title policy, by the time you explained the scenario to your attorney, you're at least 2 hours in. They're $600. So I just am trying to get people to realize to not be penny wise and pound foolish and really see the value because anybody can make a claim. Not saying they're going to be successful, but that would be your claim to defend. And if you had title insurance, then it would be our claim to defend.
100%. Jerry,
Okay, Brian, if you're doing a buy and hold strategy, then you will not recommend that we get the title insurance because we wouldn't really need it because it expires in 6 months and you have to re-up it after 12 months.
No, oh, no, 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 no. Okay. What state are you buying in Florida?
Yeah, Florida.
Okay. In Florida, if you purchase a property on a tax deed and you do nothing with it for 4 years, anybody that would make a claim to that property, that would be your claim to defend. Therefore, you'd have to hire an attorney. If you guys are going to court, you'd have to defend if they tried to challenge that tax sale. What the tax certification and title insurance offers is to remove that risk from you, and it places it on us. That gives you the ability to know any money you put in that house, any tenant you put in that house, nobody can come back and vacate that sale. You have that asset.
you're gonna go straight to policy, Jerry.
You're going to go certification straight to policy. So when we talk about the 6 months and the 12 months, that's for the tax certification product with US Tax Deed Solutions. If you're wanting to sell the property to another person, that's where the 6 months and the 12-month would come into play. But in your scenario where you're holding on to the property, then we're just going to issue you the title insurance for either what you paid for it or will go up to the assessed value.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
This is good stuff. I love it.
Yeah, Billy, I promise you, I don't talk smack. I say valid stuff.
There's a couple of somebody asked about Um, okay, when does the waiting period start? I think is what they were asking. So like an example I guess would be like Alabama. So if a property doesn't sell, let's just say it becomes a deed, but it's still with let's say it's like with the county still, it's over the counter. Does that count for the time that is passing or the what starts the clock when a new owner takes over?
Sure. Okay. First of all, Alabama is a very challenging state. They've changed their statute and now they're rewriting their statute. So, in full disclaimer, U.S. Tax Deed Solutions have suspended all of their tax certification products in Alabama because even Alabama doesn't know what they're doing. Nobody knows what's happening in Alabama. So,
Understood.
but shoot, I was at a conference where there were two individuals from Alabama there, the government, and they could not answer not one question. They didn't even know what was happening with their statute. But I will play along and we can talk about Alabama because when you buy something over the counter, then those statutory requirements are going to come into play. For example, you can buy over the counter in Indiana and walk out the door and you have a deed. You can buy in Florida, walk out the door and have a deed. In Alabama, even when you buy over the counter and you then record that tax deed, you are now, you are now at a 4 year wait. It was three, now it's four. Where now you have a 4 year redeemable deed.
And there's no speeding it up.
If you could find the prior owner and get them to sign a deed.
Indeed. Alabama, crazy ball game, y'all. And remember, I said this, y'all are hearing it from Brent now. I said this just a couple of weeks ago. Alabama's awesome for creating wealth, right? Go buy you some cheap liens, some deeds, and just kind of cross your fingers. And hopefully you take over a bunch of these bad boys a few years later. But as far as that process goes, you'll call five different attorneys and you'll hear different things. And it's mainly because there's a lot of changes going on. I've been in Alabama for maybe 4 years now, and I've seen three changes already, and I just heard another one. Now it's 4 years. That's
Yeah, and they just recently changed their statute. So, and I'm actually kind of glad just because of the numbers that made sense. And when I say that, when you go to Alabama at the sale, if you buy at the lien sale, it's a 3 year redemption. And then that means if the lien doesn't redeem after 3 years, then you are issued a deed. And then at that time, now you have 4 years that you have a redeemable deed until that person can come back in order to, what they're going to do with the sale. You are right. A lot of people do have some success in Alabama, but it's a very challenging state, very challenging.
Yeah, and the question is, what can you do while you have that deed, right? In most cases, we say don't do anything until you actually have clear title. But what I've heard from some people is that if you start doing work on the property, that the owner's not responsible for paying you back a certain amount of money and what you put into it. So that's why some people are still like, okay, I'll still go buy the deeds. But I've heard different things from different people, and I think main reason is because they keep changing. They keep changing it, but just be careful. Be careful with Alabama.
There's 49 other states. Pick another state. Pick another state.
Monique and then Kalipa.
Hey, Brent, how are you?
Good.
So I just have a quick question. Whenever whenever you do a cloud on a title, do you have to renew it every year or pay a fee every year to keep it on the title?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. So like if you're referring to the tax certification product, the tax certification is the one-time fee that then allows you to get title insurance. That's a one-time fee and that stays in effect as long as that entity stays the owner of record. You don't have to renew the certificate or anything like that. No.
So she's talking about cloud like a wholesaler putting a memorandum on a property.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. If there's if there's a memorandum that they're putting on a property, then I would have to read the we'd have to read the terms of that memorandum to find out when it does it continue? Does it expire? It's going to be what's going to be written on that memorandum.
Okay,
Awesome, awesome.
thank you.
Welcome.
Kalipa, you're next.
Yep, that's me. How you doing?
Oh,
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I think I'm in that situation. I got tax certificate. It's actually about March of 2024, and then I paid to recertify, but I'm pushing it to the closing. So now it's already March 2025. I'm gonna have to pay the full certification again.
I can take a look at. You've opened up a file with U.S. Tax Deed Solutions in 24.
Yeah, I got for a land plot. I got a tax certificate, and then I think in January, I got it in March, and then in January, I paid to recertify because it was past the 6 months, right?
Well, after 6 months, it's just $100 update.
Okay.
And then after 12 months, we'd have to start all over. I put my email in the chat. You want to maybe email me your property address,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I can look at that tomorrow and help you. Yeah, since it sounds like you have an active file, if you want to email me that information, I can look at it tomorrow and get back with you.
yep, that'd be great. You said your email's in the chat?
Yeah.
I see it. Yep.
And it's just
Great.
B flatter, and it's easy. It's bflatter@logs.com, but I did put it in the chat.
Got it. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I just re-put it there for you,
Yep.
Kalipa.
Thanks.
So we have a question. This is a good question actually for you, Bren. What's your definition of title?
So definition of title.
Yeah,
Wow.
somebody said, what is title?
Well, that's kind of broad. Okay, so I'm going to say title is what is title? Title is how you are vested on your deed. That's going to be my answer. Is how you've taken title is the vesting of your deed. For example, Bryn Flatter, I can take it as my, it just as a sole entity. I can grab Monique and I can take it as tenants in common. Evelyn and I can take it as tenants with the right of survivorship. So there's different types of vesting. Joseph and I, not that we are, but we could be husband and wife. You know what I mean? So how you're vested on your deed actually does reflect a lot of items. I don't know how many people on here. This is one of my favorite things to do because I'm going to save somebody here money, or you're going to tell your friend and we're going to save them some money. So if there are people on the call that were married, bought a house together, and they titled their house as husband and wife, and in their divorce, they got to keep the house, you better change your deed because now you are no longer husband and wife. And if one of the other parties gets a judgment and you haven't taken them off title on your house, that judgment attaches to your property.
Uh-oh.
How many people yeah, let me know tomorrow. Everybody shoot me an email, say, just save me some money. Oh my God, you saved my friend some money. Yeah. It's a party trick for me.
No, that's awesome, man. I think I want to say we about covered it. I can't think of anything that we missed. I want to
We
say
did a very broad overview tonight, which is very important. It's a broad overview of title. Each file is going to have its own nuances, or maybe not. I mean, some things just flow and they just run through as they should. And then sometimes it's a file by file, case by case scenario as to what we can do, how we can figure it out. Here's the thing, and I know, like Jen, when Joseph says he's been upset with me before, you might not like my answer, but I will have the answer that's going to save you, your property, or get you what you need.
I haven't been upset with you, Bray.
Hey, it's okay. I still answer the phone.
She's probably been upset with me though a few times.
Oh no. No, no, no. Yeah. But no, so again, I think, real estate is a great way to build wealth and then, again, the different facets of real estate. You want to just make sure that you're knowledgeable within your state, within the type of transactions you're wanting to do within that state, because that's some of the things that I love how creative you all get. But there are times where, some of that creativity, the underwriters just aren't going to roll with. And we just got to make sure that we're doing some of the things correctly. Because, in all fairness, this is real life monopoly.
Someone did ask about I think it was Basim. Yes. So transactional funding right now, it's you have to bring your own, but we do have that within the academy. All right. So we do have our own, we have partners for transactional funding. We still have to have some talks about maybe getting a straight up preferred partner type of deal like some of these title companies have. So we'll have some more talks about that. But just know that we have it, but it's not Wolf Title. All right. It's someone else that provides transactional funding. And yes, we can double close though. We can double close. All right. Good stuff. Well, Bryn, wait, somebody said so.
Mm. Again, do not use quick claim deeds. But here's the other thing, too. Here's something else that I'm going to share with you. All right, I'll answer your question, Roxy. Here's another thing that I'm going to share with you. You guys are out there negotiating your deals and you buy a property, and let's say you're buying it and you have the seller pay for your title insurance, and then you bought it, let's say in your personal name. You walk away, you quit claim it to your LLC. That title policy that you just had that seller pay for is now gone. Title insurance is issued to the owner of record and is good as long as that person or entity stays the owner of record. So be careful with that. I see that happen all the time. All the time. Okay, so does a quick claim deed on a spouse to a spouse? No, it is not going to alleviate the judgment. If it's attached already, it's on there. And again, a quick claim deed, again, you're going to mess with your title insurance. So you can get your if you have if you have two people in title and you're wanting to remove one, we can remove the other one and hopefully then modify the transaction to where you can keep your title insurance and get them off the property. But if the judgment's already been attached, then it's on there. Okay. Yeah, Roxy, or you've got my phone number, my email address. Reach out to me tomorrow. Next week, I'll be happy to talk to you.
Okay, awesome. So I think we about covered everything. You have
Okay.
anything else, Brent?
No, I just thank you again for inviting me. I love doing this and helping out, and I look forward to working with you guys as we build Wolf Title.
Oh yeah, they don't know. Wolf Title's about to be everywhere. I'm interviewing the actors for the commercials and how you do anything is how you do everything. So we're about to
Absolutely, absolutely. But thank you again, Joseph, for letting me do this. And again, I look forward to helping you and your the den. I like calling y'all the den.
oh yeah, the pack is strong right now.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you.
Thank you.
If you need anything from me, definitely just let me know, and I'll probably be talking to you Monday,
Yes.
meeting Monday. So awesome stuff,
Yes.
y'all, and good questions, class.
Yeah,
Good.
great questions.
Thank you so much. So we have a little bit of
Welcome.
time. Francis, you can go ahead and stop the recording for me, please.